Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rock the Ripple podcast. I'm your host Narita McInnes, and today's little short shift has been brought to you by a post I saw with the words that read, "Examine what you tolerate."
Rock the Ripple. Rock the Ripple. Rock the Ripple. The Rock the Ripple podcast with Narita McInnes.
Let's do this. Okay, so I saw this post the other day somewhere, I think it was on YouTube or Instagram, I can't remember where, but it said, examine what you tolerate. And I really feel like that hit hard because when you look at the things that you're tolerating versus the things that you want to be doing or experiencing or having show up or doing in your life, it really got me to thinking. And I wrote some notes just to share with you today. This will be a short one, but I hope it's a powerful one, because really when you examine what you tolerate, the shit that you are putting up with when really you don't need to be, or maybe you don't know why you are doing it. So here's what I wrote down. Okay, so examine what you tolerate. Boundaries. Do you not have boundaries in place to be, so you're tolerating something because you haven't put up boundaries, whether it's energetically you've put them up with yourself, like really you need to put those boundaries up within yourself. Like, I'm not putting up with that bullshit. I'm not going to tolerate that kind of behavior from other people or from myself, or allow it to be there. And if you are allowing it, then ask yourself, why are you allowing it? Maybe you are people pleasing. Maybe you're people pleasing and you're tolerating other people's behavior because you want to please people so that they're okay, but you're not okay. And how they're behaving isn't okay. But because you haven't set a boundary and you don't want to rock the boat or upset anyone, you are tolerating this experience in your life. You're tolerating these things when ultimately you don't really want to be tolerating that. You want to be living your life on your terms and having clear boundaries. And I think what this got me thinking about this little one was boundaries, and the different, because without them the lines are all mushy, aren't they? And you need to be able to be clear on them for yourself. Like we all do. And if we are tolerating things that aren't for our highest and best, well, then we've got to look at that and go, well, why are we doing that? So what else did I write down? I literally wrote that. Ask, why are you doing that? And what's underneath that? And are you willing to look? Because sometimes we don't want to look because it might be too scary or painful. But really, that's where the magic is. That's where the gold is. So you're willing to look underneath why you are tolerating that. So why are you tolerating that kind of behavior? Is it because you don't believe in yourself? Is it because you don't think you are worthy enough to be able to put up a boundary and say no? Do you think you are not good enough and therefore need to please people all the time so that people like you? Do you not want to be liked? Like there's all of those things. And if you are willing to look, there is stuff there for you to uncover and heal. This is what I have written down here. Or maybe you say no energetically. Or I wrote that down because maybe there's someone in your life that you don't know how to approach or how to set a boundary with, and you don't know where to start. And so energetically you can do it. You can say, no, I'm not tolerating that anymore. You might not need to say it to that person, but like everything is frequency, right? So if we energetically say no, we're putting that frequency out, but we have to really own it and know it. Like we can't just go, oh no, I don't tolerate that anymore. You and I both know that's not going to work. You got to go, no, come hell or high water, I will not be doing that anymore. This is not for me. I do not consent to how you are treating me. I do not consent to how I'm allowing myself to be treated, because ultimately everything starts with us. So it's up to you to set those clear boundaries and really look at, like I said, okay, why am I people pleasing here? And ask yourself, Actually, someone said this in a conversation the other day. Like, what are the relationships? Because everything is relationship. What are the relationships bringing you? Are they fulfilling or are they unfulfilling? Like, look at your relationships and go, okay, are there people in my life where the relationships are feeling one way? Like, you are always listening to what they've got to say and sharing, and maybe you're just like, it's not both ways. And if it isn't, like, why isn't it? And is that fulfilling for you? If it's fulfilling, great. If it's not, what is it giving you? And if you want it to be fulfilling, what would that look like? And how would you need to shift your frequency in order for it to be what you'd like it to be? And then if you do and it doesn't work out the way that you want it to work out, well, then maybe that isn't a relationship that is going to benefit you moving forward. And that doesn't mean you have to, like, the shit has to hit the fan with the people or the person that you're having the relationship with, like whether it's a friend or a family member or acquaintance, it doesn't matter. It's all, like I said, all relationship. You just have to decide, like, what do I want to tolerate this anymore? Is it fulfilling? Is it giving me joy? Is it bringing me joy? Am I bringing joy to the table? Like, am I a doormat? Am I people pleasing so these people will be okay and not crack the shits? Or, like, there's so many layers to it. And when you start to look at what you're tolerating and why you are tolerating it, that's where the gold is, and that's where the frequency shifts happen, because you allow yourself to really tap into what it is that you really want in your life. And you get to see what is there still to be healed. And all of us have stuff to be healed. All of us have all of these growing moments. Like, none of us are immune to it. We all have it, and we'll constantly be shown different things. But I think the power is in the questioning. The power is always in the questioning. And when we question ourselves, and, like, you know me, I love to dive down a good rabbit hole. I love to question everything, but ultimately we've got to start with questioning ourselves, because that is where we shift consciousness. That is where we create change the most. We don't have control over anyone else. They have control over themselves. We have control over how we show up and what we want to bring to the table of life. So if we are going back to examining what we tolerate, if we're looking at that, if we're tolerating things that aren't bringing us joy, that aren't fulfilling, that are bringing our frequency and our energy down, we've got to look at, well, why are we doing that? And once we get an idea of why, then we can say to ourselves, well, what do we want to do to shift that? What can I do to shift that thing that I'm tolerating? I don't want to just tolerate that anymore. I want to create a new boundary, a new frequency where that isn't even a thing. And so that power really lies within us. So yes, that is the question for today, and I hope that it is a powerful one for you as well. But examine what you tolerate. That is what the post said, and I just thought it was a perler of a short shift to chinwag about, because when we look at that and when we ask questions and we keep diving down the layers and get really honest with ourselves and really look at ourselves, that's when we can make a change, and we can shift, and we can no longer just tolerate things because we have been. We're allowed to be whoever we want to be. We came here to be all that we came here to be, not just to tolerate everything, but to show up and be the full expression of all that we are. And I think when we ask ourselves powerful questions like that, then we can shift and we can step into more of our power and be more of who we are, and keep shining our light bright and rock that ripple in the only way that we can. So anyway, I hope that this little ditty was powerful and got you thinking like it did me. And as always, thank you so much for being here. And as always too, I love hearing from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. What did it inspire in you, or get you thinking about, or just Yeah, share that in the comments. Like I said, love hearing from you, and pop that down if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. I do short shifts and have awesome frequency shifting chin wags with epic humans from all walks of life, rocking the ripple in their own unique way. And yeah, as always, I think I said it already, but thank you for being here. It's great to be with you, and I look forward to catching up with you again next time.